welcome to Kraken of the Week, episode 14. This week we're featuring Alf-Kenobi in the Yamato. And for those of you that have never seen this series, what we do is each week we take a look at community-submitted video of a Kraken, taking a look at what went right, what went wrong, and how the enemy team could have better responded to the threat that our player is posing in this game. Now we have a game of domination on shards, and as you can see, Kenobi is rolling in a division with a fellow Yamato, and immediately they start going forward. So this is already off to a better start than the majority of legendary matches that I've been in lately. And taking a look at what threats they have around, they have a Cleveland off to their north. The Cleveland seems fairly content to stay behind the island, which is probably a really good call at this point. Cleveland's not made for close quarter battles against battleships. They will quickly die. We do see there was another cruiser off to the northwest, and we gotta take a look there to see what's going on. And then finally we see the other enemy Yamato coming into range. Unfortunately, the blue team is off to a rocky start. You see, as we've already lost our one and only destroyer, as well as the Tirpitz. And our southern flank is kind of getting rushed. But you can see both teams have completely abandoned the B cap. At Cleveland, we spotted earlier, once again pops up. Unfortunately, the shells get a little drunk Japanese gunners here. Left the shells just a little short. Not the kind of dispersion you're expecting at that range. But both the Yamatos here done a great job. They're getting into the cap point and making sure that we can at least start getting some points racked up for the blue team. As many of y'all know, the Yamato was the first Bureau project that became available and has the biggest guns in the game, coming in at 460 millimeters, has the ability to overmatch nearly every kind of armor in the game. And then we also have 90,000 points of hit points. So this thing is made to take and deliver a beating to enemy ships. So here we see another enemy Cleveland pop up, not the one we were shooting at earlier, and he pays the price, taking the majority of his health away right there. And at this point, the Yamatos just have to keep marching forward and making their presence felt. In the meantime, though, they've kind of gotten broadside to this red Yamato. The Yamato should have been paying attention because the enemy could have had some very easy broadside shots on Kenobi and his division mate. But we didn't ever really see the shells come in, and Kenobi, realizing the positioning and taking advantage of it, takes a shot at the Yamato here. And unfortunately gets a little unlucky. 2 penetrations, only racking up about 7,000. But those are absolutely the points you want to be getting. You want to take the biggest guns out of the game as soon as possible. In that process, they are able to finish off this C cap and go ahead, and I guess this Cleveland is just wanting to get out of this game. Terrible play here, not even attempting to kite away, just going ahead and trying to bully a Yamato, which is never going to work out. Kenobi takes care of him. That's kill number 1, and we're off to a little bit of a slow start here, but we're going to start picking up the action here really quickly. Kenobi and their div mate, realizing don't need to go chase the cruiser that's in the back of the map, so go ahead, get towards the cap and start getting more points accrued. In the process, you want to go ahead, take as much health out of this Yamato as possible, take advantage of a semi-broadside shot. You see 2 overpins, just unlucky, probably a little bit high on the hole there. If it had been a little bit lower, probably would have saw a couple Citadel hits. But you can see the Yamato is starting to lose health. Probably about 20 to 30% of their health is already gone at this point. You can see there, Kenobi catches fire, and it's that Cleveland that's back at the very northeast corner of the map, putting in some shots. Honestly, it's a good play for them. They're not going to win an open water battle, so go ahead, try to farm as much damage as they can. You can see Kenobi is trying to get the gun swung around, so perhaps he can get a shot on them in a little bit, but overall, good job by that Cleveland. Continue getting the fire damage and whittling down the 2 Yamatos as much as possible. Overall, though, you can see Kenobi is rather unbothered at this point, still has both of his heals, And the fire only has 10 seconds left. Probably could have saved the damage con here. I probably would have went ahead and let that fire burn out. Go ahead and just pop the heal instead. But does use the damage con, and now the Cleveland does show itself. And unfortunately for them, terrible call. Ends up eating a Citadel, and ultimately goes down in a hurry to the other Yamato. And good job by the div here, getting rid of that ship, making sure C is going to stay in friendly hands, and then pushing into B. But as you can see, there's no ship on the mini-map that you can see in B, which is a pretty good indication there is also the destroyer in here. Now, the enemy destroyer was a Cobb, and I'm not sure if any of you have come up against a Cobb in close quarters battle recently. They are absolutely brutal. And the Cobb decides to make their move, come out from behind the island. Fortunately for Kenobi, had a set of shells in the chamber. Fortunately, not able to completely finish off the Cobb. And you see the secondaries getting in on it, and they're just barely surviving. And thanks to the Achikov doing what cruisers need to be doing, finishing off the destroyer. Destroyer did get both sets of torpedoes off Kenobi, only takes one of them, has a damage con pretty well ready to go almost immediately, and now that takes the biggest threat for the Yamatos off the board. At this point, what you have to do is pay attention to angling, and pay attention to what the other movements are from the enemy ships in order to negate as much damage coming in as possible. But another bad thing for the enemy, you can see will to rebuild pop up there in the center of the screen. So this is going to be a tough duo to kill. You're going to have to really take out a lot of health in one swing if you want to kill them. If not, they will continue healing back up to 20%, and is absolutely a huge perk to have if you're running in a division. But as you can see here, getting this second cap, in a Yamato and 2 caps in the game. So great job. That's very uncharacteristic for this type of ship and this type of game. But now bouncing around, looking at what ships need to be handled first. The blue team is at a ship disadvantage at this point. 2 battleships, 2 cruisers going up against 4 battleships in the cruiser. And we can see the GK is slightly broadside, but also kiting away at the same point. So Kenobi making sure to lead them just enough, and gets an overpin and a bounce. Unfortunate, but now at this point, realizing the other Yamato to the south and west is popping up, gonna go ahead and take some shots at them. So I really like what Kenobi and their div mate does right here, this little staggered formation. It allows for the front ship to reverse a little bit, the back one to come back up, and make it a little bit more difficult for enemy ships to decide which ship to shoot at. You can see right there, Kenobi able to finish off the other Yamato, and unfortunately at the same time, our friendly Achikov goes down, so things are looking extremely dicey. We got 2 Yamatos and a Cleveland left for the blue team. And we have a Vanguard, GK, Yamato, and a Zuma left for the red team. You can see Vanguard deciding to get a little aggressive here, and probably the wrong move against the Yamato. Yamato's able to overmatch their armor, put a lot of shells right through the nose, finish off for the kill number 3. And now we just have the GK, Yamato, and the Zuma left over. And things are looking a little better. Blue team has 2 caps, so they're accruing points at a higher pace than the red team. And now it becomes a battle to survive. And thanks for the will to rebuild, they're going to be able to survive a lot better. Even though if we look at the map, it does appear that the enemy Yamato does have a friendly ship back there. He does have 2 Yamatos shooting at him. So right there, Kenobi got a 14k salvo, and that's because the Yamato's front armor is not great when going up against other Yamatos. If you come up against a Yamato and you're driving one, go ahead, just shoot them right through the nose. The Citadel armor on the front is basically a front flat face and is extremely easily penetrated when shooting from the front. And you can see right there, that shell appeared to bounce right off the front of the gun face, which does have much thicker armor, so just a little bit unlucky there. Overall, though, this has been a great example of how to aim when going up against enemy Yamatos. So looking up in the top right, you can see this has been a solid game. We got 40 hits, capture, assisted capture, disables, 3 kills, a fire started thanks to the secondaries, a secondary hit, 2 defends, and 2 citadel hits. Right here, bad practice by the enemy Yamato. Don't shoot HE if you're an enemy Yamato. That's a waste of your shells. Go ahead, use the AP. That's what that ship is designed to do and what it's made to do. Here you can see the enemy Yamato, realizing they're in trouble, begins reversing, able to survive here a little bit longer than I thought they would be able to. And despite catching Kenobi on fire, that's not a big threat. Kenobi finishes him off, gets the Confederate medal. And now we just need to finish off one of these 2 ships, and this will be a very quick ending. You can see the health ticking back up, and that's all thanks to Will to Rebuild. You know, even if Kenobi does catch on fire here, the Will to Rebuild should outpace the fire damage, even on this ship, and it's just an absolutely huge perk to have if you are running in divisions. So the GK, fairly broadside at this point, maybe turned in just a little bit. You can see a little hint there that they were beginning to turn in. Gets a solid salvo on Kenobi, but not enough to kill them, which just means Kenobi's going to heal back up in that time that it's going to take for the GK to get another salvo inbound. GK realizing they're in trouble, so does turn bow in just a little bit, but at this point, when you have a Cleveland and 2 Yamato shooting at you, it's a matter of when you're going to die, not if. If you are on the red team at this point, you need to be focusing down on one ship. I would have been focusing Kenobi this whole time. The Azuma has the ability with its HE. It has a fairly decent alpha on the HE salvo. I would have been focusing down Kenobi, telling the GK to do the same, but they failed to do that. Kenobi gets the GK. That's a Kraken, 141,000 in damage. And at this point, the game is all but over. Great job by the friendly div, able to carry through. And great job by the Cleveland that you're going to see on the scoreboard. It's going to be an absolutely stellar game by everyone all around. Kenobi's going to end up getting the Kraken, Confederate, and Dreadnought medals. And this is exactly what you want to see from top tier players. You want to see them playing well as a team, prioritizing targets, and prioritizing caps. That's all we have for today. Thank you all for watching. Questions, concerns, please leave them below in the comments. If this is your first time coming to the channel, please consider hitting subscribe. We'll have a lot more videos coming at you shortly. Have a great day.